Shalom. First and foremost, I want to give all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem Rakakwadash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders of Great Millstone and rule well. Peace and blessings and salutation to the hopeful elect. New in the gospel, brother, lifting up the standard of Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, wherever it may be. This is another lesson through the Spirit. Going back into the shutdown, this government shutdown, which I believe has been about a week, 6 or 7 days or so. I think it's been shut down since was it October 1st? Salakia, if I got that wrong. But nonetheless, people are feeling the squeeze, man. And Trump basically threatened and said, well, some people don't deserve to get paid, and we'll pay them in other ways. Meaning unaliving your ass or letting you go for good, because people of like the what do you call it, the Federal Aviation, when it goes into like how people like the control towers for the planes, a lot of people are walking off the job and saying, well, look, if we don't get paid, we ain't working. And you know, that's a fair sentiment, because I mean, you've put hell on the American people, okay? Since 2020, it's been nothing but downhill since then. Even though we was already in a major decline, they needed something to hide the dollar collapse, because this is going to accelerate the collapse, you know, with the shutdowns and the cuts and the healthcare and all this other shit, which is, it's done. I mean, it's pretty much through. Now, allegedly, they're voting on some type of spending bill to fund it, but, you know, there's a lot of confusion among the narrative of Esau and his leaders, man. So with that being said, all hell just gonna end up breaking loose here, man. Okay, so I got a video here. It says Trump threatens to no back pay for furloughed federal workers after shutdown. A cruel Lord, to say the least. How the hell you gonna threaten people with no back pay, man? Okay, which shows you how wicked and unethical this kingdom truly is, because they don't take care of their own citizens. The people who they're funneling and stealing tax money from, they're not taking care of their own people, man. You know? So anyway, here we go.
The 1 week mark with no end in sight, President Trump today issued a new threat saying that furloughed federal workers may not be reimbursed with back pay once the government reopens.
For the most part, we're going to take care of our people. There are some people that really don't deserve to be taken care of, and we'll take care of them in a different way, okay?
That reverses what's been long-standing policy and possibly goes against a 2019...
Only a devil would say something like that. You know, as much taxes and shit people pay into it. And it's all by design to get you people to revolt and rise up, because, I mean, let's get it. You know, the American people, you've been completely docile regarding these facts of this tyranny for some time, man. Okay, so right now, we're going to start seeing a lot of more cuts. The brother Amuan Gabar from the main camp did a video yesterday, which I thought about doing in response to it, just, you know, depending on the spirit. But basically, Eve going batshit crazy because they didn't fund her food stamp card after she did our interview. And that's getting ready to be the normal cry for the people of America, man, because you put your faith in these programs, man. Okay, like it tells us in Isaiah 30, woe to them that go down to Egypt that have not asked in my mouth. You people have put your faith in the American system, which is modern day Egypt. So therefore, there's a repercussion for that, because you Israelites, you didn't put your faith and trust in the Heavenly Father and His Son. All right?
law that ensures back pay for federal workers. Here with more on this is our White House correspondent, Liz Landers. Liz, it has been a very busy day for you.
Yes.
So what exactly is the administration threatening to do here, and why?
So PBS NewsHour obtained this memo. It's a draft memo that was written by the General Counsel at the Office of Management and Budget. And in it, they believe the administration has the interpretation of that 2019 law that they actually don't have to pay these furloughed federal workers any kind of back pay. Now, that 2019 law was passed after the longest government shutdown in history to give protections to employees so that they would be assured to get back pay after that kind of shutdown.
And it was President Trump who signed it.
And it was President Trump who signed it.
And usually that's why people stay on their jobs even when the government shut down, because the government shut down several times. It's not the first time, all right? And it's going to be a permanent shutdown when Yahweh Ba'ashem Yahweh Shai sends the angels and the forces to get us and destroy this wicked-ass kingdom, man. Okay, this kingdom is a complete shit show, to say the least, you know? But anyway, people usually stay with the federal government because the longer the shutdown, the bigger the paycheck. So if I'm shut down a month, we shut down a month, and I'm going to work every day, all that time I'm still got to clock into the clock, and however they do it, they're gonna have to back pay you, you know, and you know the checks be pretty hefty. But what I feel I understand is that even though you know you're pretty impressed and all this other shit, you're sending billions of dollars to Ukraine and Israel annually, you know, every often. So not so often, but often, every often. God damn it! How the hell you don't have the money to pay me, but you sending money to a fucking foreign country? Make that make sense. Okay, y'all been printing this shit out like crazy before. Just continue to print the goddamn money, you know? But that's how this system is. It's totally unrighteous, man. Okay, scriptures go to them, woe to them that decree unrighteous decree. All right?
Excellent point. In this interpretation from this new OMB legal counsel, they're basically saying that that 2019 amendment gives a permanent authorization for the furloughed workers to get back pay once the federal government reopens, but it does not require it. There's also another sort of addendum in there that the administration is leaning into, saying that the Congress, that when they reopen the government, has to put this, the federal furloughed worker back pay, into whatever funding bill they're doing. So they're trying to find some loopholes here. And this was written for Russ Vought, who's the director of the Office of Management and Budget. And he has been working with the president, we know, to slim down the federal government, threatening these mass layoffs through other kind of mechanisms. So between this new memo and the mass layoff threats that we've been hearing, it seems like the administration is putting pressure on Democrats to end the shutdown.
Quick question here, though. Is this legal?
Well, according to a few people we talked to, probably not. The largest federal worker...
You see, this bitch not being transparent. It's either yes or no. Okay? There's no maybes. And that's the problem with people. Well, they say probably not. It's either it's illegal or it's not legal. The scriptures say, let your nay be nay and your yea be yea. There's no gray with Yahweh Bashim Yahweh Shai. It's straightforward. One of my favorite terms. It's straightforward. But these devils, man, this is the book Isaiah 19 and 2, and it says, and I will set the Egyptians, and hey, we've been going into this Isaiah 19 a whole lot. This whole chapter is fire. Like, I'm not gonna lie, this whole chapter is dope as fuck, because it's really coming to life. This is actually beginning to be one of my favorite chapters in the Bible, because I go to it pretty often, because it just what it is. So for all you people looking for us to bring out these unheard precepts, go fuck yourself, man. All right, because this ain't about sounding fancy or who know the deepest precepts, man. Go ahead and give me Wisdom of Solomon 11 and 12, brother. Go give me Sirach 45 and 9. Yeah, we get those scriptures when it's required. All right, but right now we're talking about this. So if you don't like it, step, man. Simple. And it says, and I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians, and they shall fight everyone against his neighbor, brother against brother. All right. Everyone against his neighbor, and kingdom against kingdom, city against city. So that's describing the civil war. And eventually, these people getting ready to they already tarred on each other. Okay, but right now, they have a bigger elephant in the room, which is known as the U.S. government. That's pretty much halting the affairs of the citizens here. But eventually, everybody is going to be at each other's throats, man. Okay, it's going to be like GTA with a cheat code on it. You know, lawlessness abounds. And that's all GTA really is a fallen society. You know, you can do whatever fuck you want, but you can still... It really is, it's basically illegal, you know? Making money under the table is all illegal. There's no legitimate job on GTA. Even the legitimate shit you do is technically illegal because it's shrouded around criminality or criminal, or being a goddamn criminal, you know? And that's how America is. Okay, America ain't nothing but GTA. That's all it is a big experiment. You know, and these people, they're a part of it. And it says here, and the spirit of Egypt shall fell in the midst thereof, and I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers and to them I have familiar spirits. So they're going to go to spirit mediums, they're going to consult witches, okay? They're going to consult their government officials, their leaders, which are basically their lower level luminaries. They're basically modern day Chaldeans, okay? The Magi's, the sorcerers and sorceresses or witches of America, all right? Trump is nothing more but he's a warlock. That's all he is. Literally and figuratively and spiritually. And it says here, and the Egyptians I will give over into the hand of a cruel lord. Only a devil would say, well, you're not gonna get back pay. Wait a minute, man. Bro, somebody can pop your top for fucking with their money, because people got families to feed, bro. Okay, people got newborns out here. People got bills to pay. And you talking about, well, I'm not going to give back pay. And we have something for those people. Okay, well, the Most High got something for you too, man. And it's a good thing that this is happening because we warned you. Okay, the prophets have come out every weekend and week out at the hedges of the way, which is the highways and byways, to declare the end of this wicked kingdom and to warn you to repent. And you have not hearkened. Okay, you people have not listened to the prophets, man. Okay, you took us as jokes. You scorned us. You laughed at us. You told us we was crazy. We was silly. We looked dumb. We didn't make any sense. We were bitter, disgruntled, hateful, angry. I mean, I've heard it all, bro. You know, even our own families and people that we once cared about come up against us when it comes to this thing, man. So you people were cooked. And it says, and I would set the Egyptians, I would give them over to the hand of a cruel lord, and a fierce king should rule over them. Yeah, Trump is that fierce king. If you can't see that this is talking about DJ, or he fits the criteria of this cruel lord, then you're not in the spirit, man. Because Trump 2.0, hey, this nigga's a different Trump, man. And once again, I will say that warning shot was not an attempt assassination. You know, we all thought he may get popped or assassinated, and it's not off the table because they may set something up to set you maggers over the edge to make you start going after Jake. They blaming Jake for everything. You know, surprised they didn't say a so-called black man tried to assassinate him, which that would have been a civil war overnight. But the reality of it is, the elites, they took that shot at his ass to say, look, if you get out of line, this bullet, it got your name on it. And you better believe that nigga got a scope on him everywhere he go. The minute he steps out the White House and go to his limo to give his little false ass speeches, you better believe that somebody got a bullseye right on that nigga's head. All right, he gonna end up getting, if he don't do right, he's gonna get the Captain Kirk treatment, you know, and probably worse. So he already know where it is. You know, he got a target on him. You know, elites like, look, they just gonna give a call. It's gonna ring one time. He gonna pick up. It ain't gonna be no sound on the other line, and the dude with the finger on the trigger, he's gonna already know what that meant. And instantly, boom, the nigga's out of here if he don't do what he's supposed to do. So he's got to get this chip on. He's got to get this New World Order running, okay? And it says here, fierce king should rule over them, says the Lord and Lord of hosts. And the water should dry from the sea. And the water should dry from the sea, and the river should be wasted and dried up. Yeah, you know, your economy. You know, look at your back in 2020 when all those freight trailers and shit like that was on the edge of the docks because, you know, they wasn't moving, and, you know, we had shortages. Eventually there will be more shortages here. There's shortages now, you know, which is rationed, which is through design, but they're going to start controlling the food because they're going to start shutting down these ports. Truckers are being laid off, you know, and that's what they're not telling you. A lot of truckers are being laid off, man. And it says here, and they should turn the rivers far away, and the brooks of the fen should be empty and dried up, and the reeds and flags should wither together. It says, the paper reeds by the brooks, by the mouth of the brooks, and everything sown by the brooks should wither and be driven away and be no more. And the fishes shall also mourn, and all that have cast angles into the brooks shall lament, and they that spread their nets upon the water shall languish. Yeah, because that represents your economy, man. You know, your commerce, you know, your industry, because everything over here is pretty much imported through, well, things that's coming from imports from different countries is pretty much through ships. And once the ship ports get shut down because, you know, the federal government is not regulating shit, then, you know, that's gonna put a halt to a lot of product, man, which is gonna cause inflation to increase. And it says, moreover, they that work fine flax and they that weave network should be confounded, and they should be broken in the purposes thereof that make all sluices and ponds and fish. Okay, but it says, surely the princes of Zoans are fools, and the counsel of the wise and the wise counsels of Pharaoh is become brutish. They're stupid. Okay, they're not dealing wisely with the people. You know, because how you have people that work for you, but you're not taking care of them, and the decisions they're making, they'd rather give the small hats billions of dollars right along with Ukraine before they take care of their own citizens, man. Okay, you got mass time homeless out here. People are fucking on the streets. People are overdosing. People's children are sick. Healthcare is unaffordable. You know, it's just a shit show, man. And yet you stupid ass people, you still try to save some type of face on keeping this place running. You know you got the power to shut this shit down. but you're so worried about being an American and living up and keeping up with the Jonesies. It's ridiculous, man. And you're letting all this shit go by you. And it reads, and it says, how say ye unto Pharaoh, I am the son of the wise and the son of the ancient kings. It says, well, where are they? Where are the wise men? And let them tell thee how, and let them know what the Lord of hosts have purposed upon Egypt. So if your counselors were wise, then tell them that the Lord is going to break this place down. He's going to destroy this place. You know, and it says the princes of Zoan have become fools. The princes of Nob are deceived. It says they have also seduced Egypt, even they that are in the stay of tribes thereof. But it said, for the Lord have mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof, as a drunken man staggered in his vomit. Yeah, because everything is failing. Government shutdowns, jobs are being laid off, people are losing their money. You know, people are losing their 401k, their social securities, people being laid off left and right, people being evicted. It's a pissy ordeal. And these people are going to end up losing it, man. And it says, neither should there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail or branch or rush may do. And in that day should Egypt be like unto women, and it should be afraid and fear because of the shaking of the hand of the Lord of hosts, which he's shaking over it. All right. So anyway, I'm going to end it, giving all praises and glory and honor that's due to Yahweh Ba'ashim Yahawashi. Lord's will, you will edify. To the next lesson. Shalom.
Union that I spoke with, or that put out a statement earlier today, said that this is an obvious misinterpretation of the law, and also said that it is inconsistent with the Trump administration's own guidance from a few days ago, which said that furloughed employees should receive retroactive pay. I also talked to Shalonda Young, who was Biden's OMB director, and she said that the 2019 law makes it very clear that Congress has the intent to pay these federal workers who've been furloughed. She said that the federal government always pays federal employees once they've been furloughed. And she also made the point that this will surely spur Congress to add this into the funding bill that they're working towards but have not yet passed.